Welcome, travelers, to Adventures in Security. In this video, we explore potential threats to a cloud environment and the associated vulnerabilities. You can download the video script and the bibliography from the link in the description. Today, we're talking about the threats most cloud environments face and what to do about them. Cloud doesn't magically make security problems disappear. It changes where the weak spots are. The good news is that the same few mistakes show up again and again, which means you can plan for them. By the end, you should be able to name the top threats, link each one to common vulnerabilities, and describe practical controls that reduce risk without slowing everything to a crawl. Before we jump into threats, we need one big idea: shared responsibility. Your cloud provider secures the buildings, the hardware, and a lot of the core services. You are still responsible for how you configure those services, who can access them, and what data you place inside. Most cloud incidents happen on the customer side, things like a storage bucket left open, an admin account without multi-factor authentication, or an API that accepts the wrong requests. So when we say manage cloud risk, we're really talking about managing identities, configurations, and data. Here's the big picture. Attackers usually start by getting access. Then they try to move around, find valuable data, and stay hidden. In the cloud, access often means a stolen password, a leaked key, or a misconfigured permission. Movement can look like jumping from one cloud service to another using overly broad roles. Valuable data might be customer records, intellectual property, or the ability to deploy new code. And staying hidden often involves breaking logging, deleting alerts, or blending into normal admin activity. Our first major threat is identity compromise, account takeover in the cloud console, SaaS apps, or APIs. The vulnerability is usually weak authentication, reused passwords, missing multi-factor authentication, and overly powerful roles. Sometimes it's also long-lived access keys that were copied into a script and then leaked. To manage it, start with strong MFA, especially for admins. Use least privilege roles, short-lived tokens, and conditional access rules. Monitor for risky sign-ins, impossible travel, new admin grants, and unusual key creation. Finally, rotate and store secrets in a proper secrets manager, not in code or shared documents. This threat is best described as exposure exploitation. Many attackers don't start by targeting you personally. They scan the internet, looking for cloud services that are accidentally exposed. If they find a public storage bucket, an open database, or an admin panel reachable from anywhere, they move quickly. They may steal data immediately, drop crypto mining software, or leave behind access for later. The reason it works is not because the cloud is insecure, but because a single setting can turn a private resource into a public one. To manage this, you want guardrails that prevent dangerous choices in the first place. Use policy as code, so risky configurations are blocked or flagged before deployment. Add continuous posture monitoring so new exposures are detected within hours, not weeks. And make secure by default the norm through templates and infrastructure as code, so teams aren't reinventing security settings each time. This threat is API attack and abuse. The attacker isn't just trying to break in, they're trying to use your API in ways you didn't intend. That can mean credential stuffing to take over accounts, scraping data through normal endpoints, abusing object-level access to read someone else's records, or sending crafted inputs to trigger injection bugs. The vulnerabilities are the weaknesses that make those attacks succeed. Broken authentication, missing authorization checks, poor input validation, and no rate limiting. To manage this, put APIs behind an API gateway, require strong authentication, and verify authorization on every request, especially when an API references a specific record. Add rate limits, safe error handling, and logging that can spot unusual calling patterns. Finally, test APIs regularly because small code changes can reopen old holes. Data exposure and exfiltration is the threat everyone worries about. Vulnerabilities include open storage, unencrypted data, weak key management, and permissions that let too many people read or export data. Managing this starts with data classification. Know what is sensitive and where it lives. Encrypt data at rest and in transit, and protect encryption keys with a key management service. Limit data access with least privilege and need to know. Then add alerts for large downloads, unusual sharing, and cross-region transfers. Use backups that are immutable or protected, so attackers can't delete your recovery options. Ransomware and malware can still hit cloud workloads. The vulnerabilities often come from unpatched virtual machines, exposed remote management ports, weak admin accounts, and flat networks that let malware spread. Sometimes attackers deploy crypto mining or backdoors instead of ransomware. Management is the same discipline you'd use on-prem. Patch quickly, remove internet exposure, and harden remote admin paths. Segment networks so a compromised server can't reach everything else. Use endpoint detection tools on servers and containers, and keep clean, tested backups. Also practice recovery, because the first time you test restores should not be during a crisis. Supply chain and CI/CD attacks are when the attacker slips into your software delivery process. Vulnerabilities include weak controls on build systems, secrets stored in repositories, and dependencies pulled from the internet without verification. If an attacker can change your pipeline, they can ship compromised code to customers fast. Management means locking down who can modify pipelines, requiring code review, and signing builds. Store secrets in a vault and inject them at runtime. Pin dependencies, scan them for known issues, and watch for unusual build behavior. Treat the pipeline like a production system because it is one. Containers and Kubernetes speed up deployments, but they add new ways to fail. Vulnerabilities include running containers as root, using images from untrusted sources, overly permissive Kubernetes roles, and exposed dashboards. Weak network policies can also allow pod-to-pod attacks. Management starts with trusted images, image scanning, and minimal base images. Enforce least privilege for service accounts and limit what pods can talk to on the network. Keep the control plane private where possible, and log every admin action. Finally, update clusters and add admission controls so unsafe workloads can't be deployed. This threat is defense evasion. Once attackers get any level of access, many will try to reduce visibility so they can persist and move slowly. In cloud environments, that often means turning off audit logs, deleting log files, changing alert rules, or acting through powerful accounts so their behavior looks normal. The vulnerabilities are what allow this. Logging that isn't enabled everywhere, short retention periods, and log storage that attackers can modify or erase. Managing it means centralizing logs in a protected location, restricting who can change logging settings, and alerting on high-risk actions like logging disabled. New admin role created, or key created. Treat your logs like evidence. Keep them safe, keep them long enough, and make sure someone is watching for signs of tampering. Let's wrap it up with a simple way to manage cloud security over time. First, set clear ownership using the shared responsibility model. Second, reduce the main vulnerabilities: weak identity controls, risky configurations, insecure APIs, and poor key management. Third, verify continuously with scanning, posture monitoring, and log review. Cloud changes too fast for yearly checklists. Finally, rehearse. Run tabletop exercises, test backups, and practice restoring access safely. Cloud security isn't one tool, it's a routine. If you build the routine, most scary threats turn into manageable work. That's it for this video. If you learned anything, please remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, be careful what you click.